Good morning, good morning, good morning. Come bring your morning inspiration. Our morning inspiration will be coming from the Gospel of John, John chapter 4, verse 24. And our theme today, worship that pleases God. Worship that pleases God. In John chapter 4, Jesus and the disciple had went through Samaritan route. Usually they don't take, but Jesus was on a divine timetable. He declared we must need to go to a Samaritan. When they went that way, he found himself talking to a woman by a well. Started off the conversation by asking for water, asking for a drink, and of course the woman declared that Jews and Samaritans have no dealing. And Jesus said, if you know who asks you a drink, you would ask him and he would give you living water, wells of water where you don't have to thirst again. And she started looking at him and began to look at him from a Jew to a sir, and finally got to the place of having a desire for this living water. And Jesus said, if you are going to get this living water, then you have to deal with your ways. Go call your husband and say, declare I have none. Jesus said, you got 5, and the one you're living with is not your husband. You can't get this water, this living water, unless you first deal with your sin. And the woman shift from water to worship. She began to ask him the place of worship, because the Jews says in Jerusalem, they say it was in the mountain. Jesus says, you worship what you know not. It's amazing how many people get so caught up in the place and really don't even know the person of worship. He declares salvation is of the Jews. And here in verse 24, Jesus says, God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. That if we're going to worship God, we have to worship God authentically. God is not impressed on how we dress. God is not impressed on what we drive. God is not impressed on the place. God says you have to worship in spirit and in truth. You have to be genuine. God look at the heart of worship, not the mouth of worship. He said you got to worship me spirit and in truth. That is, I need to worship him accurately. It's amazing how many people worshiping God and what they call worship, and they really don't really know God. So tonight, join us as we deal with this topic, worship that pleases God, for our table talk discussion. So pull up at the table with your significant others, husband, wife, children. We're going to have a real great discussion on tonight. God bless you on today. I pray that you would have a good and godly day on purpose. That's my prayer for you and your family today.